Continuing on with part 2 here, we get our kinesis module. I actually messed up and needed to grab the health pack from the left side where you get the kinesis. It's in between the boxes, so I'd recommend that. But behind this movable, we have the bronze semiconductor, and then up on the shelf we'll have a small med pack. We want both of those. And we'll go through the store. Make sure to grab all the materials while the security officer is talking. After that, we'll pick up her pulse rifle. We don't really use it, but we can put it in the storage for later. Honestly, the pulse rifle went from probably one of the most powerful weapons in the game to being, I would consider it probably one of the weaker ones, except for the grenade launcher function. It's about the only time I use it. Once all weapons lost their stun in this game, the pulse rifle just kind of became pretty bad. Make sure to grab all the materials in this room as well while Hammond is talking to you.
Medical's a slaughterhouse. They barricaded access to the morgue.
The morgue?
Yeah, but the barricade was put together in a hurry. A hydrazine tank might blow it open. Just need a detonator, like maybe a shock pad. Nicole could be through there if...
Isaac. The one who attacked us. I swear to God it was Chen. But... I saw him die. If they barricaded the morgue, maybe it was to keep something in.
Anyways, now we're going to use our store, and we're going to sell that bronze semiconductor we just picked up, as well as put the pulse rifle into storage, because we don't need it. And I also like to move essentially a lot of extra stuff. If you have a lot of medical kits or med packs, anything like that, we'll move it to storage for future use. I move 2 of them to storage because I know the next section's coming up where I won't need 6 of them. Particularly in this room, I grabbed this spike because we're going to be hit with a necromorph scripted jumping out of this vent to our right, so I'll deal with him. But after we deal with that one, we will immediately take the elevator down so we can funnel them all to us. I also grabbed this bunny while we're going down. And from here, all of the necromorphs will come from in front of us, so nothing we have to worry about from behind. A spike from the wall will take out a necromorph in one hit at this point with our kinesis, but the spikes from the necromorphs themselves will take 2. So be wary of that. If you grab a spike off the wall, it's a one-shot, but if you need to take them out with the necromorph spikes themselves, it will take 2. And also the kinesis can be kind of janky whenever you're trying to grab things, so be prepared for it to miss. I've had it happen so many times where it decides it wants to grab items or other things. But you'll know when you're safe here, because as soon as the lockdown goes away, the orange light in the room, you'll know that you're completely fine to keep moving. That means all the necromorphs are gone. And from here, we're just going to loot all of the rooms, get a recharge of stasis on this wall, make sure that we get all the bodies. If need be, you can break those shelves with the 4 white dots on them. They give you 4 spikes, so that's 4 insta-kills of standard slashers. So if you find yourself running a little bit low in this section, there is that shelf on the left. I just like staying where I was because it funnels every necromorph to the front of you. And we did pick up that log in Nicole's room to start the scientific methods side quest. Because her stuff isn't too far off the beaten path, we still get rewarded with materials and all of that stuff if we go into those areas. I also moved the bookshelf in Kyne's office because there is items back behind. I got kind of unlucky with the RNG and didn't get any ammo or anything, just 200 credits, but materials is materials. Then we grab the credits off the top of this locker, grab all of the lockers, our stasis pack schematic, and we go into this next room where we meet up with the Lurker, also known as the baby enemy. I have seen one reported case where somebody actually got necromorph spawned in this room, but it has never happened to me. I think it was just an oddity that happened, but it is kind of funny to think about. But the babies just wait for them to have their 3 tentacles out and then shoot off the tentacles. Just saves ammo. The ever classic, just shoot off the limbs. Here we're actually going to use one of these shelves by breaking it, and then you can see that 4 spikes spawned on the ground, and the trigger is to just move closer to that window. The first shot didn't work, but we can easily just pick up another one. And whenever you see them drawing their arms back, you'll immediately want to start sprinting in more than likely the opposite direction of where you were walking whenever they started drawing them back, because the tracking on the babies is pretty decent. So we grab the materials out of that left room, grab the item off the ground there. There's a power node on the opposite side of the shock pad room, which we will grab. I like to move this wheelchair because I have gotten shocked trying to get to the switch on the wall just normally. And here, since this room is completely clear, we're just going to go around picking up all the stuff that we left up the stairs. That way we didn't have to come back up the elevator.
I don't like what I'm hearing out there.
And there's another shelf that you can use, just in case you were up there. I'm going to be taking this spike with me, just to save a little bit of ammo, because we will be ambushed by 2 scripted necromorphs in the next hallway. There's going to be one that spawns in front of us, and then another one that spawns behind us after we go through this stasis door. So we'll go through the door and start walking up, and there will be a necromorph that pops out. And then you can hear the one that just spawned behind us, so I hit him once. And then stasis wasn't working for me exactly there, so I picked up the body, just threw it at the necromorph, then picked up the spike and threw it at him. It happens. You can also use the fire extinguishers on the wall like that one. It does a little bit of damage, and also isn't the worst for stunning them sometimes. But I don't really find them too reliable, they're just minimal damage. Now we're going to be going back into the 0G therapy section, which you won't get attacked here because this scripted guy who bashes his head into the wall. If you need a stasis recharge, it's on the right to the guy that just smashed his head. Over here, you can sometimes find money there, sometimes not, but I find that there's always credits by the dead body right there. Here, there will be a necromorph that pops out of the vent here. So I pick up the fan that he busts out, and take out his leg, then take out an arm. Simple enough. And then we get this box here. And then we'll put the battery in, and instead of doing the elevator, we're going to do the doors first. But I'll go through this door, there will be a guy on the ground, and after his death animation is finished, there will be a necromorph that jumps out of the vent here. So, stasis him, take out his leg, throw fire extinguisher for a little bit of extra damage, and then take him out, take his materials. Anytime you see the orange locks, they're a security clearance that needs to be required to open them, so I don't open them. And here I'm just going to work my way towards HP, because it's an extra hit from a standard slasher, and also gave me more energy for my stasis. Which the HP also healed the little bit of health that I was missing there, so it's a double purpose. And here we'll just go inside this room that we unlocked with the switch. I'm not worried about listening to the logs. We're not really going for a story playthrough here, it's just getting through impossible. So we'll activate the elevators and go up. There's going to be a scripted necromorph that jumps out of this vent that I'm aiming at. And from here, whenever you kill a leaper on a wall, as said before, it will insta-kill it. So if you can get them to hop onto a wall and then take out a limb, it will insta-kill them because the game doesn't know how to react. Well, it does know how to react, but the leaper can't keep functioning on a wall whenever it loses a limb, so the game just tells it to insta-kill it whenever it loses a limb. And here this necromorph is always scripted. Once you grab the scanning machine and send it all the way to the side, if you walk through that door, it will be there. So just wait. You can see it through the glass on the right whenever you're going over the scanning machine. And another scripted jump scare as we grab this plasma energy. Just ignore it. Nothing's going to happen in this room. But then we'll just carry on. This room is pretty much safe. In this room as well, I've not had anything attack me whenever I'm first running through it, so wouldn't even worry about it. And the zeros, the no oxygen section here, I've also never had anything attack, but there are 2 boxes and a semiconductor on the shelf here, so make sure to grab those. And then just carry on. Here we're going to get into the zero-G therapy section, which you can just search around at your leisure. There's a few items kind of just floating in the area. I like to throw them towards the door that I'm going towards anyways, that way they'll just be there whenever I need to get where I'm going. Then I just go in here, grab the hydrazine tank first because it activates the cutscene, so then we can loot the room while we're talking to Hammond. And pretty odd, but I had that material from the zero-G room come in and keep floating, so not really sure what's going on with that stuff. And there will be a scripted leaper that'll come in here, so wait for him to jump onto the wall. I tried to grab the fan blade that he knocked down, but Kinesis just wasn't working for me. And if you kill them during a leap, or cut off a limb during a leap, they'll still die, so that's what I opted for. But if you catch them on any of the walls, it'll insta-kill them whenever you cut off a limb, so if you can go for that option, it'll save you a lot of time and ammunition.
What the hell? It shut the whole ship. I'll check it out.
Here we have to go upwards because the ship just had a massive chunk of damage done to it. So we grabbed the material out of that cabinet, and then we also grabbed this box. And here we're going to have a scripted leaper as soon as we get near the end of this hall. So be prepared to stasis or any other particular thing to get rid of it. It's always just there. Now we just zero-G down the elevator shaft. And whenever we're in this maintenance tunnel, we're going to be attacked by 2 scripted enemies. The leaper in the front, and then there will be a slasher in the back. You can grab the health pack off the pipe up there. So I like to stasis the leaper and then disable one of its arms. And then use the vent to take it out. I couldn't grab the tail for some reason. Like I said, Kinesis can be kind of janky for you. But after that, it's just the slasher here. Again, I tried for the tail just to see if it could save me some ammo, but for some reason, I think it registered as being stuck in the wall. So don't always depend on Kinesis to be there for you. It can be really janky sometimes. But we just melee that fuse to save the shot. I go down here to get a stasis refill because it's free and I'm right here. Took 5 seconds to go off the path to grab it and there was no danger, so might as well. Now we're going to put the hydrazine and shock pad onto the barricade and get rid of it so we can go to the ER and the morgue. And you just need to walk around the counter here to the arrow. The only time that I know that there's an objective marker, well, shown objective marker in this game is that one. As far as I'm aware, it's kind of odd. And here we just put our schematics in. I sell the semiconductor that I had. And I also moved some of this ammo because I was starting to get really full on inventory. 100 shots is still a lot, so I moved some of my ammo over to storage to have for later and some of my medical stuff over there. As far as I'm aware, this necromorph is always here, so just be prepared for him. He's really telegraphed, so it's not much of an issue. Just approach methodically.
Get his rig codes, and the computer's all ours.
And in the ER here, we can just go around collecting stuff, because until we take out the battery, nothing will attack us. So I like to move the spikes to where they're easily accessible, that sort of stuff. Open these lockers. We can also watch Nicole's stuff if we wanted to, but like I said, this isn't a story playthrough. So we're going to activate the battery after collecting all of the materials here. I like to set up the stasis canister as well. But we're going to move the shower for the power to the shower. Then we need to move this door with kinesis. So we do that, and then we'll have all the materials in this room that we're going to pick up, along with Nicole's log to carry on with her side mission. And if you don't pick up that log, the mission won't progress, so then once we get to engineering, we'll be able to do that. You'll have 2 babies jump out at first here, and then some slashers along with them, so. And they can be hard to find in these dark rooms. I have some trouble with it. But here's a slasher. And I needed to dodge the baby shot there, if you saw it going by. Now, slasher spikes will instantly take out a baby. A regular baby, not an enhanced one. So if you happen to hit them with the slasher spike, then by all means, because it will insta-kill them. And here I picked up the arm instead of the spike. You just have to roll with it. But it gave me the spike the second time around. And then I dealt with everyone. So we carry on by putting the battery in and moving on to the next area. Also here, because I know there's going to be a baby at the end of the hallway, I do go back and get a spike from one of these slashers to instantly deal with it. So that baby's gone. And once you kill the baby, or you follow it down this hallway, it will spawn this leaper. And from there you just deal with it, carry on. Now we're going to go down this hallway to the right, make sure to grab this med kit on this table. But once we get down this way, we'll be attacked by 3 slashers. So we'll deal with the one in the front, and there will be 2 behind us. So I spike the one in front of us, and then grab his spike, well, attempt to grab his spike. So instead I deal with him with a fan blade, and then use the spikes of the one that I used the fan blade on to deal with the other one. And then we just grab those boxes and go down the hallway as normal. I thought I had left something back here, but just ignore it. It was just a log. So then we'll go through the room on the right to the lady performing a vivisection on this guy. We can just ignore that. If you want to watch it, you can, but after seeing it so many times, you know, kind of wanes on you. Here, just a decompression in this room. Then we also need the battery. there will be a baby that spawns up around the corner here, so be prepared for that. So I take the fan that it busted and use it on the baby's tentacle to save a little bit. And then we'll just put the battery in on the right. And now we go down to the morgue. Which, if people remember in the original, you couldn't really set up for it. It just kind of happened when you walked in the room. But here we're going to have some setup time. Grab the item behind that morgue door that opens up. Here we have two boxes. I just fire one into another to save a little bit of time. Grab the item from down by the elevator. And here I like to set up this stasis canister to where it's convenient. So as soon as I can walk out and grab it, I do. And just grab every item you can find in that room. But as soon as you hit this door, it'll instigate a cutscene. Now, as soon as this cutscene is over with, we're going to want to stasis the captain and then grab the canister that we left by the door, so be prepared for that. The door does also stay open after this cutscene, so you don't need to worry about opening it. So be prepared to stasis him. Grab our canister that we left. And then immediately hit the infector with it and deal with him. And the stasis does linger from the canisters, so the captain will probably walk out and be stasised himself. Makes life easy. I grab his spike from the arm that I dismembered and hit him with it. And the reason I do that is because the quicker that you deal with the infectors, the less enemies that you will have to deal with. I mean, it seems kind of obvious, but, you know, if you deal with the infector, that's 2 enemies you have to deal with instead of 2 more necromorphs, potentially 3, depending on how many bodies are in a room. So, if you can deal with the infector first, then always deal with the infector first. It'll just be more ammo that it takes and more time that it takes in the end if you don't get rid of them.
Isaac,
I'm here. What the hell's happening?
the computer says the Ishimura's engines are offline. We're on a decaying orbit toward Aegis 7.
Oh god. I have to get to engineering.
There's no time. That tram station's offline.
And here, because we have that security clearance now, we can open up these cases, and one of the lockers in this room,
I'll guide you from there.
for some reason the other locker is a level 2. Not really sure why they did that, but at the same time it doesn't really matter because we come back here anyways. And now we can get this power node off the wall, so we want to do that. And always assume that this storeroom is not safe, because I have been attacked in it quite frequently, so always be prepared for something in this room. But here we're going to sell our semiconductor as well as our pulse rifle ammo because we won't ever really use the pulse rifle. I like to move the stasis units to storage as well as my extra medkits that I don't think I'll need, so I always have something at my disposal for later. Again, if you have materials on backup, it's never a bad thing. But here we're going to take the tram and go to flight systems.
Flight deck tram control.
But from here we won't really have anything attacking us or any scripted events, so don't worry about it too much, just run to the hangar bay, and from there we're just going to clear that out. But that will pretty much be the end of part 2, just hitting the chapter end section at this point. But if you already cleared out all this area in the bathroom, you don't need to worry about anything. The only thing that's going to happen is that they're going to try and scare you with the security recording here of Chen dying. So, just ignore it. But yeah, that's the end of part 2. Let me know what you guys think, and Have a good one.
Isaac, this damage report says there's a broken cargo lift just beyond the hangar doors. I'll open them now.
Entering zero gravity.
You'll need your thrusters to reach it, but that lift shaft should take you straight down to engineering.